Sure, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Julian, I work at MapZen, and I'm going to tell you a little story today about a bug we had a couple months ago, and it's sort of, I guess, like in a Shakespearean play. I guess we'll start, I'll introduce all the characters, and then we'll see how they combined. So this is Denmark. It's a small country. It's not too far from here. Maybe some of you are from there, you live there, or you've been there. I hear it's quite nice. This is Sweden. It's not quite as small, not quite as near. I also hear it's really nice. Never been there. And this is Copenhagen. It's the capital of Denmark. I hear it's a great place. And this is the homepage of the Pelias Geocoder. So you can go there if you have questions about it. There's a link. And if you don't happen to know what a geocoder is for the purposes of this little talk, it's basically, it's the thing that lets you type in something like this, and it should give you the right place on the map. And it generally does. This is Mapillary. You may have just seen the lightning talk. They're good people, and they're especially awesome because they use Pelias on their homepage, which is great, and we are very happy that they're using it, and we've generally gotten good feedback from them. They're also based in Sweden, incidentally. So one day in New York City, we were waking up in the morning, and we checked Twitter, and we saw something like this. So this is a tweet. Maybe look at that first result and see if you see anything slightly odd. So if you remember from a few seconds ago, Copenhagen is actually in Denmark. And we have it showing up as in Sweden, which is, I guess, some people were a little angry. Some of you are laughing. You might know that there's been some contention, apparently, around who controlled Copenhagen in the past few centuries. So it's a bit of a sore subject. So what happened here? It's a really good question. So we started digging into things, and as part of Pelias, we have a data set that we use called Who's on First, which has information on countries and cities and whatnot. And when we were initially calculating like the parentage for that data, being programmers, we used the simplest thing that we would think could possibly work. So this is Hovedstaden. It's the region in Denmark surrounding Copenhagen. And you can see up on the left, there's Copenhagen. And you can see then there's this little island down on the right that's also part of that same region. And so when we were calculating this parentage, we did the simplest thing. You've probably done this if you've done any sort of geometry work. We made a bounding box. It's this gray square, right? It's the box that surrounds everything in that region. And then we took the exact center of that box, and you can see the little crosshair in the center. And then we asked, what country is there? Well, it's definitely Sweden, and that's definitely wrong. But there's something really interesting. So it turns out, according to Wikipedia, a couple hundred years ago, there was this guy named King Charles Gustav of Sweden, and he really thought that Copenhagen should be part of Sweden rather than Denmark, and so I think he went out and captured it. And eventually he was repelled, and eventually peace was had all around. But apparently, the Danes who took back Copenhagen, they didn't really stop there, and they took over a little bit of Sweden as well. And then there were some negotiations, and that part of Sweden was given back to Sweden in exchange for that little island down in the corner. So, King Charles may not have gotten Copenhagen like he wanted in the 1600s, or so it seemed, but at least according to Pelias, for a few hours in April, thanks to the Danes who recaptured it, he did. So if you want to know more, we have a blog post with all of the correct dates and fun facts and cool pictures, so please feel free to read about it and enjoy a funny little story. And if you want to learn more about Pelias or geocoding or other fun geo trivia, which there's a lot, feel free to chat with me later. Thanks.